I've been teaching English at a high school for nearly 15 years, and I've seen just about everything fights, cheating scandals, even a raccoon that somehow made its way into the building once. But what happened last winter still unsettles me in a way I can't explain. It started on an ordinary Monday morning. I walked into my classroom, coffee in hand, and as I scanned the room, my eyes caught on a girl sitting in the far back row, third desk from the window. She wasn't on my roster, and I didn't recognize her from the hallways, but she was there, head bowed, long black hair covering most of her face. I assumed she was a transfer student who slipped through without the office giving me notice. That happens sometimes. She never spoke. Not once. She kept her head down, scribbling in a small black notebook while the rest of the class went on around her. When I called attendance, I would glance at her, but I never said her name out loud because I didn't know it. For some reason, I kept telling myself I'd figure it out later. Weeks went by like this. She was always there, always in the same seat. The other students didn't seem to interact with her, but I figured maybe she was just painfully shy. One day, I decided to fix that. I told the class to split into pairs for a project, and when I noticed she hadn't moved, I pointed toward the back and said, "Why don't you pair up with her?" The whole room went silent. A boy near the front frowned at me and said, "With who, Mrs. Carter?" I looked at the back row again. The desk was empty. I felt this wave of cold wash over me. My first thought was that she'd slipped out of the room while I wasn't looking. But that didn't make sense. She had been sitting there a second ago, and no one else saw her leave. That night, I couldn't shake the image of her notebook. I remembered seeing her write in it almost constantly, page after page after page. The next morning, before class started, I asked one of my colleagues in the faculty lounge if they'd ever noticed a quiet girl in my room. I described her long hair, always writing, sat in the back row. My colleague just stared at me. Then, almost in a whisper, she said, "Third desk from the window?" When I nodded, she looked pale. She told me about a student who used to sit in that exact seat, nearly a decade ago. A girl who barely spoke, who carried around a little black notebook everywhere she went. She died in a car accident one morning on her way to school. I laughed nervously, hoping she was joking, but she wasn't. She told me other teachers had mentioned strange things before, glimpses of someone in that seat, whispers they couldn't place, shadows in the corner of their vision. That afternoon, when my class emptied out, I forced myself to walk to the back of the room. I don't know what I expected to find, but my stomach dropped when I saw it, a black notebook sitting on the desk. I reached out, and before I could touch it, the lights flickered. And then the notebook was gone. Now, every morning when I unlock my classroom, my eyes go straight to that desk. Most days it's empty, but sometimes, out of the corner of my eye, I swear I see her there. Head bowed, writing, waiting.